Hello everyone, welcome to the third video of our playlist Object-Oriented Programming Basic Concepts in C++. So today we covered inline functions and constructor, and under the constructor we'll only cover today default constructor. So let's start the video. Inline function. What's an inline function? In inline function, compiler replaces function call with actual code of the function at the point of the call. I know that this definition is not enough to understand. So let me show you the output of two programs and then you can understand this concept. It's a basic program which adds two integers a and b and prints the addition a plus b. In main function, I have called this add function with the arguments 2 and 4. So the output will be 6. 6. It's not an inline function. So how to make it inline? To make this function inline, we'll add a keyword inline before the function definition. And then if we run this program, then also the output is 6. So what's the difference between them? Actually, we cannot see the difference in output in our terminal. The difference is that in inline function, the function is executed faster. But why? Because as you can see in the definition, the function call, which is add to 4, is totally replaced by the function code. Function code means the definition, the function definition, which is cout a plus b. So this add to 4 is totally replaced by this definition, and the function is executed faster. But this was the advantage, and the disadvantage is that it takes more space, and it's only suitable for smaller functions like addition, subtraction, etc. But if it is not suitable for any larger functions, so you cannot use this in any complex project. And it's totally up to you that in smaller function you can use or you cannot use this inline function. Now we will discuss about how to use this inline function in a class. So in a class, the member functions or member methods are by default inline. So in class, the methods are by default inline. But when you are using this scope resolution or when you define the function outside the class, then it's not inline. So to be more accurate with, we must say that in class the methods are by default inline when we define them inside that class. But in this program, we are defining them outside the class. Means using scope resolution, we are defining a function which is displayed. So this function is not anymore inline. And to make it inline, we will use same syntax which is inline by student. And if we run this program, the output will be same. Now we will talk about constructor. What is a constructor? A constructor is a special type of member function of a class which is automatically invoked at the time of creation of an object of that class. So this is the definition, and we will now understand the concept by using a program. So it's a simple program, and you can see that in main function, I have just created an object of the class student, but I have not printed any statement or not called any function. But if we run this program, then we can see the output. Congratulations, constructor called. But how is this possible? Because in main function, I have only created the object. Neither I printed any statement nor I called a function, then how? It is the magic of constructor. Because in constructor, in the definition, you can see that the constructor is automatically invoked, automatically called at the time of creation of an object of that class. So as I created an object of the class student, then the function, the constructor is called and the statement is printed. So what's the syntax of declaring a constructor? Is public, then the class name. So be cautious that always use the function name as the class name. So as here the class name is student, we used the function name, the constructor name as student, and then parentheses, then the function body. Okay, so here student, then I printed a statement which is congratulations constructor called, and then if we create an object of the class, the constructor will be called it. Then what if we create another object? Let's say student S2. Then the statement is two times printed. So it's very clear that as we created two objects of a class, then the constructor is called two times. So the output is printed two times. Now we will talk about how to declare a constructor outside the class using scope resolution. In the previous video, I I told you the syntax of declaring a method outside the class using scope resolution. So this is the syntax: return type class name, then operator, then method name, then arguments. So here we don't need any return type because the constructor don't have any return type. So you will have only class name, then method name. So here the class name is student, then the method name is also student, and then the parenthesis, then the definition of the function. And if I call the function, if I run the program, the output is same as the before. Now we will talk about types of constructor. In C++, there are several types of constructor, but constructor is mainly of four types in C++, which are default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor, then dynamic constructor. We will discuss them one by one, but we will cover default constructor in today's video. Default constructor is nothing but the constructor which takes no argument. So as in our previous program, in the student class, the student constructor is not taking any arguments. So this can be called as default constructor. So that's all about today's video. We'll cover the parameterized constructor and copy constructor in the next video. So thank you.